Who are you when nobody's watching? When there's not a camera around, there's not a person or a crowd that you feel like you have to impress? Who are you when you're alone? The answer to that question is actually really simple, and because of that simplicity, most people don't even try to find the answer. Because of this, most people would die before they even find out who they really are. When you're alone, do you keep that same integrity that you portray online? Are you living out that fantasy that you created on social media? Are you living out that lifestyle that you're preaching to other people? Or are you just like every other insecure person who's trying to make their life seem like it's something that it's not? Most people in my generation, as well as myself, are probably a victim of this. But luckily for you, I'm going to teach you exactly how to discover the answer for yourself. And like I said, it's so simple but so overshadowed, so I'm pretty sure nobody knows it for some reason. But I'm going to sit down first. The truth is, you're probably not practicing what you're preaching. The highlights of the life that we see on social media aren't our true lives. That's just what we want to portray to others. So when I ask who are you when nobody's watching, a lot of us just don't really have answers. One, because the noise and the constant distraction just distracts us from being ourselves, and even trying to figure out who we are is difficult in itself. But also because when nobody's watching, are we truly living the life that we want to live, or are we living the life that we feel like we have to portray on social media? So even if you are practicing what you preach, are you truly living the life that you want to, that you're promoting when nobody's watching? Like I said, the answer is most likely no. And there's a billion ways to fix and solve this issue that I'm going to explain later on in the video. But I also want to explain where this issue even comes from. Like I said, when nobody's watching, we aren't living out that perfect lifestyle that we're promoting on social media. So why do we lie on social media in the first place? So yeah, the obvious answer is that we want to put our perfect moments on social media because we don't want anybody to see our low points. But is that truly the real answer? In my own personal experience, I've noticed that most of this portrayal of who I wanted to be just stems from the fact that I'm trying to search for something that I wanted in reality. So I go on the virtual world and try to portray something I'm not, when the whole time I just wish I had that in my life. Social media is barely social media. At this point, it's like virtual reality. I can literally go in this video right now and preach peace, love, and positivity, and then go out and just kill somebody. Nobody's gonna know, and that's the crazy part about it. I will post my highlights on this channel consistently, and then the bad days that I have, nobody will know about it. So yeah, I feel like if you've been watching my videos consistently, then you know that I've been trying to preach a realistic lifestyle that I've been living. I've been trying to show my ups and downs, my imperfections, my flaws, everything in my life, yet still nobody truly knows the deepest parts of my life, because I'm only sharing with what I want to share on the internet. We live this lie about ourselves because we just want to be loved by other people. We're emotional creatures. We want to be loved. We want to feel loved. We want to feel good about that. And Mark Zuckerberg and all the other social media inventors create the perfect way to make people feel loved without actually feeling loved. It takes no effort to slide up on somebody's story and then show fake love, but nowadays it takes effort to actually talk to that person, have a conversation going, and actually compliment that person in the face. And it wasn't like that before. The love that we're feeling on social media is just filling the void that we don't have in real life. And yeah, it feels good to be loved on social media because at the end of the day, it's still a person, but it doesn't feel like a person at all. We get that instant gratification of somebody complimenting us, and then we just go on to the next person, wondering why our inbox isn't growing in numbers, wondering why we don't have enough likes on social media, anything like that. And it's just the obvious things like that that we're just not acknowledging for some reason. So back to the point, when nobody's watching, we realize that we aren't truly living a life that's entertaining for social media, or a life that anybody's going to love, because we don't think that. We're looking at the constant highlights of somebody's life, so the lowest or the average points of our life seem to be a little lower than it actually is. So when nobody's watching, you're just somebody completely different. You put on a fake hard persona, you put on a fake loved persona, you put on a fake persona in general, and that truly isn't you. Everybody wants to have a life that can be put in a movie somehow, but nobody realizes that those movie characters also have their highlights shown most of the time. Nobody shows those movie characters just like sleeping with nothing going on, or driving to a store with nothing going on, or walking to class with nothing going on. They're only showing the interesting parts in their life. The same way on social media, and that's what we're trying to replicate. We're seeing it as a movie, where if we saw a movie with a character just sleeping for 20 minutes, we're not going to watch the movie, and that's valid. We're going to think that that's the most boring part of the movie. We think that for ourselves as well. We think that 20 minutes of downtime makes our lives something that nobody else would care about. But on the flip side of that, we also lie just for money. I definitely mentioned this before on my channel, but the YouTubers that claim to be self-improvement YouTubers, or claim to be self-growth YouTubers, are guilty of this themselves. think about it. Are you really going to take advice from somebody who seems perfect or somebody who is clearly flawed? We as people are probably more inclined to take that advice from somebody who is clearly perfect, when the quote-unquote flawed person is less flawed than the actual people lying about the perfection, because they've developed that security in their lives where they feel like they can be honest about themselves and still give that information that could potentially help people. Whereas the people who fake a perfect persona are too insecure in their ability to be liked as a person. So they fake their persona for more money, for more validation on social media, for more clicks, and the people who buy into that are the actual victims. We don't want anybody to see that side of ourselves, because when we're alone and nobody's watching, we feel vulnerable. We feel like we are vulnerable, and honestly we are, because our guard's down and we're not trying to act like somebody we're not. And you're probably thinking, just like I was, who cares? Who cares if you're putting on a fake persona? Who cares if you're lying about your routine just because you want to get more views on a YouTube video? Because you're still helping that person at the end of the day, right? Who cares if you're lying about your lifestyle on Instagram because the only person that affects is you, right? Not exactly. It affects everybody, honestly, and that's exactly why it's so bad. The person watching the perfect YouTuber is just looking at somebody to idolize and base their entire lives on, and then eventually they're going to hold themselves to that perfection. And then holding yourself to a lie that's unobtainable is just going to mentally exhaust and mentally drain you. On top of the fact that that person who's lying to you is getting money out of that. They're deceiving you about certain things, and you're falling victim to it, trying to live up to that persona, knowing it's probably impossible to do so, but you still persevere because you want to live that lifestyle. And honestly, the person who's watching your Instagram story, looking at your perfect life, is just going to go through the same cycle that you're about to go to. And then eventually it just keeps on spreading and keeps on spreading. The same way you watched somebody's Instagram story and felt like you had to lie about your own lifestyle and put on a fake persona for social media, another person is going to watch your lifestyle and probably think the same thing and then do this exact same thing and then mentally exhaust themselves, which just creates a domino effect that affects everybody. So how do we fix this? How did I stop myself from thinking like this every single day? And I'm going to be honest, sometimes as a teenager, obviously I'm going to feel like I need validation from certain friends, from certain people, and that's just a hard reality, but I've dimmed it down enough to just not really be affected by it. So how did I do that? How does this change? How does this fix? It's simply just being alone. We're so distracted by social media, we're so distracted by our phones, we're so distracted by everything, and I am too, even currently. We're so distracted by the noise and we're so distracted by everything, all the distractions, that we're not taking enough time to just be alone, be by ourselves, and kind of understand who we are as a person. For a second, stop looking at everybody else's life and look at your own life. What needs to be fixed? If something needs to be fixed, stop looking at everybody else and fix it yourself. If you find something in your life that you absolutely love, that's amazing. Glorify it and then prolong it. Being by ourselves is simply the easiest way to be comfortable with ourselves, because once you're comfortable and secure enough in who you are as a person, you're not going to want that validation from other people. I have a lot more work to do on my journey, so I'm still kind of getting to that point where I'm completely secure in myself as a person. But the first step I took in doing that was just acknowledging the fact that I wasn't secure in myself, and acknowledging the fact that there was a change that needed to be made, and I needed to stop going on social media and looking for the answers and look for it within myself. Because here's the harsh reality. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna live through my own experience and think you're probably gonna have the same exact journey as me. You're gonna go on the same exact journey as me, and that's just not the case. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey to self-discovery is gonna be different. It may have been quicker for me and it may be slower for you, but at the end of the day, that acknowledgement is the catalyst to even fixing everything to begin with. When you're done this video, I want you to come back and tell me who you truly are when nobody's watching, because I feel like you're gonna surprise yourself more than you know. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.